Alright everybody, welcome to another edition of TEW 2020 as we're continuing the Ruthless Aggression series here in MLW in 2004 as we're on the road to Armageddon. But first we've got a 3-week underground taping to do, so let's get rolling with that. So we start out with a announcement basically from Kevin Kelly that today's main event is going to be Steve Williams versus Simon Diamond, and if Williams wins, he will get an MLW World Title shot at Autumn Armageddon, and this gets a 47. Then we have an Extreme Horseman promo, basically, saying that the whole crew is here. So there's absolutely zero chance that over-the-hill wrestler Steve Williams is going to get a title shot at the greatest world champion in professional wrestling today. Because Simon Diamond will make sure that he still ends up in the rough. 59, perfectly solid promo, as everybody's a decent promo in here, especially Corino. And then we go to our ring for our first match of the night. As in a poor match, the Hart Foundation of Teddy Hart, Jack Evans, and T.J. Wilson defeat Homicide and the Havana Pitbulls in 8:59 when T.J. Wilson pinned Ricky Reyes. And basically the ending of the match is that Jerry Lynn comes out, distracts Homicide, they start brawling. That's enough for the Hart Foundation to have a 3-on-2 advantage and pick up the pinfall victory. This gets a 42, Homicide gets a 38, Ricky Reyes gets a 40, Rocky Romero gets a 27, Wilson gets a 34, Jack Evans gets a 44, and Teddy Hart gets a 22. And then Homicide and the Brawling gets a 50. And then we go have a quick promo with the Samoan Island tribe saying they've been busy wrecking fools in Japan, but now they're back in MLW and they're ready to take on anybody and prove that they deserve a spot at the top of the card. This gets a 40, perfectly solid, straightforward, mean guy promo. Then we go to the match, where in an extremely short match, the Samoan Island tribe defeated M-Dog 20 and Chad Collier in 4:24 when ECMO pinned Chad Collier with a Samoan drop. Mana gets a 36, ECMO gets a 52, Collier gets a 25, M-Dog gets a 20. This is just a straight ahead squash. M-Dog 20 maybe hits like a few interesting flips to keep things, somewhat interesting, but at the end of the day, ECMO just runs him over and gets pinned on Collier pretty easily. Then we go backstage where basically we go where Michael Modest makes his return. Says he wants a shot at Loki's junior heavyweight title. Amazing Red comes out and says, you've been away for months and you think you can just walk back in here and have another title shot. Well, why don't you take on me next week and we'll see who actually deserves another shot at Loki. Modest agrees, and there you go. This gets a 35 because these guys aren't the best promos in the universe, unfortunately. Then we go on to our main event of the match, which is and they both had a great heat and good wrestling. Steve Williams defeated Simon Diamond 20-28 by pinfall the backdrop driver. This gets a 60. Williams gets a 53. Diamond gets a 57. And then we have our finishing of the main event where Corino and D'Lo try to run in, and they both eat backdrop drivers to end the show. As Williams, basically stands tall and looks like a big old badass as we, can continue on towards Autumn Armageddon. And this officially announces, our first match, which is going to be Steve Williams versus Steve Corino for the MLW World Heavyweight Championship. And there we go. And overall, the match got a 53. So really good, solid stuff. And I'll be back in a second with the second show of the taping. All right, now it's time for the second taping of the evening as we continue MLW Underground, and this time Danielson opens the show, basically says that he's too busy in Japan wrestling for a real company, proving he's the best in the world, to show up for his match with Nigel at Armageddon. But that's too bad. Just Nigel will have to wrestle some other scrub. Nigel comes out, basically says that the real reason that Brian is afraid, and if he wants to prove he's really best in the world, he'll face Nigel tonight, and then Brian agrees. And this gets a 55 because these guys are actually pretty solid on the mic. Then we move on with our opening match, as set up last week as in a decent match. Michael Modest drew with Amazing Red in 10 minutes when the time limit expired. This gets a 50. Modest gets a 46. Amazing Red gets a 49. And it looks like they're about to brawl, but Loki comes out and agrees to a 3-way at Autumn Armageddon. Or Summer Armageddon. I keep on screwing up the name of the show, so that's a good sign. Let's see here, 3-way. So yeah. Loki, Michael Modest, the Amazing Red, and then the junior heavyweight title. Pre-book that. There we go. And then we have a promo where basically Roderick Strong says that the reason why he backbroke Chris Hero, the backbreaker on Chris Hero a couple weeks ago is pretty simple. He's better than Hero. he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he's tired of proving it every week. So if he wants to, if he wants to show that he's actually ready to be play with the big boys, then Strong will be happy to break Hero's back again and pin him 1, 2, 3. This gets a 25 because Strong is not a good promo, unfortunately. Then we go to a three-way match. We're at about that decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Ricky Reyes defeated TJ Wilson and Jose Maximo in 7:34. When Ricky Reyes pinned Jose Maximo, TJ gets a 37, Ricky gets a 34, Jose Maximo gets a 47, and it's also announced during this match that at Summer Apocalypse there will be a three-way tag match, which will be this one. As it will be. It's going to be, where are they? Yeah, SATs versus the Havana Pitbulls versus TJ Wilson and Jack Evans. And there we go. And it'll be for the Global Tag Team Crown. Like so, this gets a 44. And then the Pitbulls quickly celebrating gets a 32. Then we have a Homicide promo on Lynn. Blaze basically saying he's going to tear apart Lynn at Summer Apocalypse, and there's nothing these fans can do about it, as he proves that he's the man who deserves to be in the main event, not some old, tired ECW leftover. Because this is the 2000s, it's not 1999 anymore. And that officially announces that match, which I hope you would have figured out after Homicide basically screwed over Lynn and they brawled, but just in case you didn't. Homicide gets the win over Lynn. And there we go. Pre-book that. And then, in our main event, in a decent match, Nigel McGuiness defeated Bryan Danielson in 15:44 by pinfall. This gets a 50. Nigel gets a 42. Bryan Danielson gets a 56. This match got the crowd hotter. And yeah, just an overall good win, big win for Nigel as he gets, basically back and forth match. But in the end, Nigel's able to hit his big lariat and get the pinfall victory where Danielson kicks out at like 3.1. Afterwards, McGuiness celebrating, gets a 58, and finishes the show with a 50. So perfectly solid show. Nigel's getting more over, and yeah, we got one more taping, then the big show. So see you in a moment on that. All right, it's now time for the final show of the taping. So let's get rolling with the final underground before the big I can't talk. Before the next big show. Anyway, let's get going. So we open up with Nigel and Strong talking. Basically, Nigel saying he wants a challenge at the next big show. And basically, the Extreme Force can come out and say, hey, didn't we kick your ass before? There's an argument and a tag match is made for tonight where it's Nigel and Strong versus D'Lo and Simon. And overall, this gets a 60. Not the most entertaining stuff, but oh well, stuff happens. And then we have in a decent match, Sabu defeated Mana in 5:44 when Mana intentionally got disqualified. Basically, one ECMO ran in and attacked him. So this gets a 52, and also it's officially announced that it'll be ECMO versus Sabu again at Summer Apocalypse, but this time, there'll be no Raven to get involved. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, so Manu got a 37, Sabu got a 55, and overall this got a 52. And then there was a 2-on-1 beatdown, which got a 40. After that, we had a 9-man, 3-way tag match, as in a decent match, the Amazing Red and the SAT defeated Jack Evans, J.J. Wilson, Loki, and Michael Modest and the Havana Pitbulls at 9:35, when the Amazing Red pinned Michael Modest with his Red Star Press. So this gets a 47. Amazing Red gets a 52. The Maximals both get a 46. Loki gets a 50. J.J. Wilson gets a 34, Jack Evans gets a 39, Modest gets a 51, Rocky Romero gets a 27, and Ricky Reyes gets a 42. So yeah, this is just a match to hype up the tag and heavyweight matches. And yeah, there you go. Lots of spots. And then we have a Chris Hero promo where he officially accepts Roderick Strong's challenge. He says, I don't know what's wrong with you, Roderick, but at Summer Apocalypse, I'm going to show you that I deserve to be in this business just as much as you think you do. And this gets a 36. And then in a bout that didn't have much heat and terrible wrestling, Chris Hero defeated Harry Smith in 7:58 by pinfall with a Hero's Welcome. Not the best match, but just a match to get Hero over. This gets a 30, Hero gets a 32, and Harry Smith gets a 24. And then in our main event, in a good match, D'Lo Brown and Simon Diamond defeated Nigel McGuiness and Roderick Strong in 14:46 when Simon Diamond pinned Roderick Strong with a Simon Series. This gets a 61. Simon gets a 55. D'Lo gets a 60. Roderick gets a 51. Nigel gets a 52. And then afterwards, the Extreme Horsemen are celebrating. Corino holds up his title. D'Lo and Simon, celebrate. And then, basically, it would be announced, basically either on the website that the Extreme Horseman has accepted a challenge from Nigel. It'll be D'Lo versus Nigel at Summer Apocalypse. And also, I should book that Chris Hero match. So, there we go. And that finishes the show, which gets us a 55. Okay, so actually a really good show, because that main event was really good. Because D'Lo and Simon are a really good team, and Nigel and Roderick are quickly becoming a very good team. But let's finish things out. As we see if there's anything interesting happens in the mail. And then next up will be the big show here in a couple weeks. Survey says... Okay, mail-wise, yeah. Okay, Danielson, right. And let's see here. What did ROH do? AJ Styles defeated Sabin, Punk, and Daniels retain the title. Matt Striker defeated Samoa Joe and Angel Dust return to pure title. Which is incredible. Defeated Deranged. And a bunch of other random matches. Okay, could be worse. Could be worse. But yeah, I'll be back in a second. And then when I'm back, it'll be time for the next big match, which is, of course, Summer Apocalypse. So, see you in just a moment. So, a quick pull in here just to show something some wacky. So, WD had their SummerSlam, and if you want some interesting things, okay, here's this. We had Rock defeating Michaels for the world title, Eddie Guerrero defeating Taker, Angle, and Edge in a 4-way to retain the title, Booker T defeating Shane McMahon and Regal and Randy Orton to retain the AC title. But the match that got 100 was, of course, Triple H versus Bradshaw. We also had Rob Van Dam defeating Mick Foley and John Cena, Batista and Flair defeating Test and Steiner, and Molly Holly defeating Victoria, Daphne, and Miss Jackie to retain the women's title. And then Tori Wilson defeated Stacey Keebler, Jazz, and Shaniqua. And then in the Ultimate Dragon defeated Jerry for the Cruiserweight title. And of course, Matt Hardy and Scott Hall defeating Kevin Nash, the new NWO, of course. Hollywood Matt Hardy, defeating Stevie Richards and Kevin and Funaki. So fun stuff. But anyway, be back in a second with the actual, again, big show. Okay, boys and girls, officially time for the Summer Apocalypse, so let's get rolling, as we're live from the Kissimmee Civic Center in beautiful Kissimmee, Florida. As we start with Kevin Kelly welcoming us to the Summer Apocalypse, going over the world title match between Corino and Williams, D'Lo Brown versus Nigel McGuiness, and Jerry Lynn versus Homicide. This opening thing gets a 46. And we go to our opener, which is a decent match. Roderick Strong defeating Chris Hero in 10:46 by pinfall. Hero gets a 34, Strong gets a 45. Putting Roderick over because he's better in ring at the moment, a little more over, and we're sort of building Strong and Nigel as new upper mid card guys to replace the older people. So not a huge loss for Hero. He'll get a shot eventually. And after a moment, Hero and Strong actually do a handshake, and this gets a 40 because nobody's turning heel yet. Then we'll go to our next match. So basically what happened is I forgot Sabu wasn't available today, so I had to sort of so this is just a random match to get ECMO on the card. So in a poor match, the Samoan family of ECMO, Man, and Sabu defeated Queens and Puma in 10:24 when Mana submitted Bobby Quance to 68-38. Puma gets a 30, Quance gets a 25, Samu gets a 34, Mana gets a 33, and ECMO gets a 52. And then, in a match for the tag team titles, in a decent match, the SAT defeated the Havana Pitbulls and TJ Wilson and Jack Evans in 13:50 when Jose Maximo pinned TJ Wilson with a Spanish Fly. The SAT make defense number 1 of their tag team titles. Maximo gets a 44, Joel gets a 44, Jose gets a 47, Ricky Reyes gets a 41, Rocky Romero gets a 26, Jack Evans gets a 46, TJ Wilson gets a 34, and overall gets a 48. A perfectly solid match for these guys considering their overness and everything. And then the SAT celebrating gets a 36. Then we move on. We're in a decent match. Homicide defeats Jerry Lynn in 13:31 by pinfall 187. This gets a 48. Homicide gets a 36. Jerry Lynn gets a 48. As Homicide has one of the biggest wins of his career. As this is just a wild brawl back and forth, but eventually Homicide gets the big win. And then Homicide continues the beatdown on Lynn, and this gets a 48 as well. So then we move on to our third match from the top. As in about that good heat and decent wrestling, Nigel McGuiness gets a huge win, defeating D'Lo Brown in 1937 by pinfall. This gets a 57, D'Lo gets a 54, Nigel gets a 49. As just Nigel McGuiness gets his road to the top of MLW, getting the huge win over the member of the Extreme Horsemen. And then surprisingly, Bryan Danielson shows up and attacks Nigel to a big crowd heat, which gets a 47. So basically, what happened here is I sort of got my nights backwards, and I forgot to change the day that this show is supposed to happen, because it's supposed to happen tomorrow, where Sabu would be available, but Danielson wouldn't be. So stuff happens. So I did this booking instead. And then we move on to our semi-main event, where in a decent match, Loki defeated Michael Monas in Amazing Red in 1526 when Loki pinned Michael Monas with a Warrior's Way. This gets a 54, Loki got a 51, Monas gets a 47, and Red gets a 55. Loki, just goes strongly over, continuing his reign as the junior heavyweight champion. And Loki celebrating gets a 46. And now it's main event time. As in by far our best match ever, in a superb match, Steve Corino defeats Steve Williams in 1946 by pinfall. It says super kick, but it'll be old school explosion. Corino makes defense number 5 as the World Heavyweight title. Corino gets a 70, Lynn gets a 53. And then Corino celebrating at the end of the show gets a 69. Nice. So, Steve Corino, because he got the best match of the night. D'Lo Brown. Let's see here. And what match was shockingly good? Actually, I'll give the Amazing Red some credit for also putting on a great performance. And let's see here if there's anything interesting in the mail. Then we'll go to the end of the match, go over everybody's overness changes if necessary, and then we'll go from there. Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we got a little over 13,000 people. No other big mail. Oh, let's look at Gmail Climax. Oh, okay. This does not have the right. Okay, I'll go and fix that in a second here. But yeah, be back in just a moment with the end of the month and all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and just go over some things. As first we look at creative. So D'Lo's are number 1, but Danielson is number 2. Simon Diamond is number 3. Loki is number 4, but Corino is actually number 5. Next big things is Nigel and Puma. Hot prospects is Hero, Puma, Harry Smith, 99 Hurt, and Jose. Talk to Talk is Corino, D'Lo, Diamond. So basically your Extreme Horseman plus Funk. Showstoppers is D'Lo, Brian, Lynn, Vampiro, and Corino. Ring Generals is Brian, Nigel, Corino, Lynn, and Hero. Who's Hot? Homicide, ECMO, Corino, Loki, and Nigel. Who's Not? Michael Monas, Simon Diamond, and Sanjay Dutt. So, if we look at our titles, tag titles is up to a 50, which is, Junior Heavyweight Championship is up to a 42. And World Heavyweight Championship is up to a 60. Well, okay, it's still 69. Interesting. So, let's start with overness of people. So let's start with some major stars. So we got Bryan Danielson. So he's currently at a 47. So if we look at things, so he's up slightly everywhere. So that's good. Popularity for D'Lo. D'Lo actually dropped a bit for losing to Nigel, but it's worth it. ECMO's slightly down in South. He's probably because I didn't use him that much, and slightly down everywhere else, so I just have to rebuild him a little bit, but he's still up a lot comparatively. Popularity-wise, let's see here. Okay, so Homicide is up to a 40 in the Great Lakes, up to a 39 in Mid-Atlantic, up to a 40 in the Midwest, up to a 41 in Southeast and Southwest, and up to a 42 in the Tri-State. So that shows where we have TV, obviously. Let's see, popularity-wise. Okay, yeah. Basically, Loki's sort of treading water, because, yeah. Sabu, again, still is about the same. Simon Diamond, up a little bit. So yeah, despite being on the, having cool momentum, he's actually up to, he's gained some ratings. Steve Corino, tracking progress. So up 2 points, up 1 point, up 1 point, up 2 points, up another point, up 2 points, up 2 points. Okay. Again, slowly getting more over. And Steve Williams, let me see how hard he got. Okay, so he didn't actually lose a lot for losing. And I still have 1 appearance left over with him. So that'll be interesting. And yeah, okay. So I have 1 more appearance for him, and I'll figure out what to do with him. I think I have an idea, but we'll figure it out. So stars-wise. Popularity, if we track it. So yeah, Lynn doing the job to Homicide actually hurt him a bit here, so oh well. Nigel is really getting the pop. So yeah, he's up to 27 in the Great Lakes, up 10 in the Mid-Atlantic, up 5 in the Midwest, up 10 in the Southeast, and up 3 in the Tri-State. Sanjay Dutt, oh yeah, I might have mentioned this, but if not, Sanjay Dutt got injured and he's out for 3 months with a broken leg. So that's why, I had him win a match and then he was suddenly gone. Amazing Red is, let's see how far he's up. Okay, so up 2, so basically up 1 or 2 everywhere. And then we got well known Joel. It's interesting, Joel's slightly more over. And yeah, Joel's up basically a point or 2 everywhere. Michael Modest is up a point everywhere pretty much. And then if we go to recognizable, if we go to Jose first, just because he's our guy, so about the same, up a point or the same. Chris Hero. Chris Hero's, okay, up a point, up a point, up a point. Okay, yeah, so there we go. Jack Evans, up a point, up a point, up a point. So yeah, slowly building up. Ricky Ray's, up 3 points, up 4 points, up 3 points, up 4 points. And again, obviously all this stuff isn't due directly all to my booking. It's also whatever other shows they're doing. Let's see here, Roderick Strong. So yeah, he's back up 2 points. And yeah, slowly building everywhere else. And then TJ is up a point, up a point, up a point. And Vamp still exists. Yeah, he's holding steady. And we'll see if there's anything of interest in the unimportant to see if anybody else. Yeah, nobody else of that much interest. Overall, size-wise, if we track the progress there, or up a point, and or up a point, even, up a point, even, up a point, even. So yeah, we're going to be at small for a while. And again, it'd be really helpful if TNA, because if we go back here to our battles, it'd be really helpful in the Southeast if NWA Florida stopped randomly being able to have Sting in main events on their shows. And it would be also helpful if TNA got big enough they were a medium-sized company. That'd be really helpful to me. The good news is I'm still doing better than FIP and NWA Wildside. Lost a whole bunch of money, but of course that can be easily fixed. So the next big event is War Games, and that's middle of October. So we begin building that up on the next video. Otherwise, let me see here. Yeah, this is going to be a little shorter video than usual. It's about about the same as the show before. Last week I did a couple more shows, but I think ending at the big show is a good place to go. And depending on how the next taping goes, I'll either tape all the way up to War Games, or I'll tape the first couple shows after War Games. It just depends on how it all goes. We also have we have some minor morale issues. I can probably pay most of these people off, and then go from there. But yeah, merch, we're still slowly building that up. Medical, again, Sanjay's out for 3 months. Damn you, TNA. Let's see, is there anything else that I really need to show you guys? Oh yeah, storylines. I haven't changed these, 45, 34, 57 for the World Title feud, 53 for the light heavyweight feud. Sabu's in a feud by himself, gets a 47, and the tag team title feud is at a 44. So there you go. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. So if you enjoyed this, go ahead and give it a like. Comment below what you're enjoying or not enjoying. And subscribe to the channel for plenty of TEW 2020 content, including this, my Women's Revolution in 2010 series, my Cornellverse series, and of course, my WCW 1993 with the Eric Bischoff series, where AJPW Smith just won the world title in London, and of course, my long-running WCW 2001 series, now in 2003, as we continue on the road to the Clash of the Champions. But that's all for now, so talk to you later, and adios.